Thanks for staying tuned. Well, a couple of days past have been really interesting in Nigeria and in the Niger Delta region, of course, which is the producer of most of the oil being consumed here in Nigeria. There's been a strike by Pengasan, which of course led to some issues within the supply of cooking gas in the region. And this has raised questions regarding industrial actions and how it affects energy sustainability, not just in the Niger Delta region, but across the country. We'll be digging into some of these issues, and we have joining us on the program an oil and gas expert, Pastor Samuel Okpokowuruk. Thank you for joining us on the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on the program, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I must wish you a happy birthday, sir. I mean, that is really commendable. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Well, man, you followed the entire Pengasan strike and the industrial action and what led to it. They were clamoring for redress following the sacking of about 800 workers in the employ of Dangote refinery. What was your perception of the entire incident, especially as it led to the resolutions that we saw?
Well, for me, I don't think Pengasan did anything wrong. For me, because you see, you cannot just wake up and sack 800 people and you say you're just removing a few people for sabotage. Let's face it, if 800 people were sabotaging Dangote, that company would shut down. So for me, it was an excuse because Pengasan went out.
Dangote says it has over 3,000 persons in its employ.
3,000 to 800. What ratio is that?
And he's saying
So
it
you cannot say
only
it's a minuscule. You cannot say it's a minuscule of what you have. 800 to 3,000, sir. It's not acceptable. Now the issue is that the laws in this country allows for freedom of association, freedom of expression. These guys, you can see that Dangote was not ready from the beginning to allow for people to be part of the different associations as relating to what they do, because that could have given him a latitude in terms of remunerations and so on. Don't forget that we will class Dangote today with the level of Mobile, Shell, with the capacity of what they have. So if Dangote is operating at that level, Shell is not owned by Nigeria. You know, some people argue, oh, it's a private company. Shell is not owned by the Nigerian government. Mobile is, or Seplat now, is not owned by the Nigerian government. Ajip is not owned by the Nigerian government. These are all private companies that, you know, the government has some interest in. And if what we were told from the beginning, the government had some interest in Dangote, no matter how small. So the issue is that, why would you, if you are doing everything honest, why are you afraid of people associating with others? So for me, for anybody to say that Pengasan were responsible, I don't agree, because Pengasan were only protecting the interest. If it happens, if they succeed in Dangote, one day Seplat will stand up and say, no, we don't want associations. We want to control what we do here.
But he was actually doing it in the interest of the business that is, that is under its care. So compared to
is Shell not under somebody's care? Shell is doing business. You see,
They are members part of Pengasan.
Yes, they are.
But that sometimes staffs are laid up in an organization just to save that company.
I agree, but what was the reason for this? These people, you see, did he produce any reason, any factual point of sabotage? He did not. We all know that every single person that Dangote laid off were people that moved to join Pengasan when they before they were not allowed. The Pengasan Dangote played along. Immediately the window was open and the people joined. So he now knew people that were the saboteurs. That's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Well, I mean, this has all led to some artificial scarcity in the market. I don't know if it's artificial or if it is real, but then there's been real concerns amongst consumers of cooking gas, and there's that notion that as a result of this Pengassan strike, which lasted a couple of days, it led to the scarcity of the product, which also caused a hike in the prices.
I would rather say it was as a result of Dangote's laying off of legitimate staff that led to the scarcity. Because tell me where Pengassan was really wrong in insisting that people that are qualified by law to join their association should not join. It's not acceptable anyway.
But can't the industry do without industrial actions like this?
Well,
because it's
that is the only.
Aside from Dangote
Can I
coming
ask you a question? The question is this: what other avenue have you given to these people? Okay, let's take the doctors for example. They have already the ARD has declared a 7-day warning strike, which will lead to. Now, the only opening would have been that if government has negotiated with the people, the time comes, they meet the terms of what was agreed. Okay? Over time, the government in this country, not just this one, the government in this country have shown the knack for never implementing the things. That's why either the nurses will go on strike, the doctors have just declared they were going to go on strike, the university teachers will go on strike, and so on and so forth. So show me any other avenue. Unless you have another avenue, even courts will give decisions the government will not take. So the government only expects if the injunction is against the body, the government expects you to, are you following? But when it's against government, there are arguments, there are reasons. So the government actually has not given these bodies an alternative. If there was that after an agreement, after terms have been agreed, you go ahead to implement them. That would be a different thing. Then it would have said, why didn't Pengassan wait, okay, to take this other option? But right now, with what has happened in this country, there is no other option to force the government's hands to bring agreements to be in the second place. Why? Yes, honestly, I tell you something. I'm excited about Dangote, what they've done. I'll tell you something. My people say, I think in the general, you give a dog a bad name. So no, this project is enormous. It's given Africa, not just Nigeria, a pride of place. I know of refineries in Europe that have shut down because of Dangote. They have actually shut down. Right now, they're shut down. A lot of production facilities in Europe are redundant because of what is happening at Dangote. So it's our pride. But listen, don't also forget Dangote's game action. The cement is a very open place for us to talk.
Oh, that's the antecedents of
monopoly.
Where he will want to shut down every other person. Maybe it's not in the public domain. His brother, Boa. He fought Boa in cement. That at least if we were to, because now it's not just a thing of the north and the south. Okay, it's a thing of that. Somebody wants to completely and totally control a sector without any other person. It's like our Igbo brothers used to do. In Okpokowuruk, I don't know about now. Before, if you imported Okpokowuruk and you were not an Igbo man, you'll be shut down. Either you'll be robbed, something. They will just make you go bankrupt. Are you following? But maybe it's different now. So that's exactly the style this man is using. So we have to also be careful. Like, for example, let me bring up, I just read in the paper, Dangote has reduced the price of gas to 700 something, and then we share, all those things, you can make a setup to now have what you want so that you could be checked. But let's look at the long term of having one person, one company, control a sector.
Well, Nigeria has always grappled with the task of combating monopoly, making sure that it doesn't allow its markets to be controlled by one person.
Why do you
are we still delving into that?
Cement? How many years did it take for cement companies like Unisem, which went on to Lafarge, which I think there's a new company that just taken over Lafarge now in Crossing. How many years did it take? I was the regional manager for Sigmund, now Itero, in Port Harcourt, when Eagle Cement was thriving. I mean thriving. We actually supply products to Eagle Cement. Go and find out what is the position of Eagle Cement today.
So what's the problem with the monopoly?
It was the monopoly, it was the fight that Dangote took with the cement issue to be the only person producing cement that led to the collapse of these other companies. Boa is just that, well, was a bit tenacious. But even then, it wasn't working very easily with it. He would even use the sitting president to make sure that the other companies were shut down. So let's face it. Like I said, I don't have a problem. Honestly, I like that Dangote has come. But Dangote has to allow others to breathe.
What happens to the common man, the consumer? Is there no other way to go about this and shield the consumers from bearing the brunt of this, whole strike, industrial action?
There's every way to go about it. Like I had asked in the beginning, why is the focus only on Pengasa? Why is anybody not looking at why Dangote is doing what he's doing? Have we looked at the salary structure of what Dangote is paying for that capacity of company relative to what other companies that you could rate same way in the country are paying? Those are things that we should look at. Those are things that they would not want people to look into.
And he says he's paying about triple of what the minimum wage is currently. That's what Dangote is.
What are the other oil companies paying? It's not whether he's paying triple.
This is not private business, it's business.
Is Shell not private business? There's a standard. Across the world, there's a standard. Okay? I've had like 5 franchises in this life across the world. I was running one across the whole of Africa. That's Alemite. I can tell you that what happens in South Africa when I was running Alemite for Africa is what happens here. I don't sell a different price, okay, to South Africa or to, I think it was Equatorial Guinea or something. I sold some parts for the aircraft and so on. It's the same thing. So if we are coming on stream with other players, you should also, why are you afraid of people knowing what you are doing inside? Why? Something fishy must be going on. That's my position.
Well, Pastor Okpokowuruk, can Nigeria realistically talk about energy security when its workforce is grappling with incidences of this nature?
The solution has to come from both sides. You cannot put people in a state of slavery. Let me put it that way. It may not be slavery in the way they work in the cotton industries, but it's slavery. If, say, Shell is paying 5 million naira, okay, and you come and you are paying, minimum wage is 80,000. Am I right?
Okay.
70,000. Some people are paying 80. And then
Yes,
Imo
in
is even
different
paying
states.
100. Even Imo of all places paying 100 something thousand. And because you are trying to show, you now multiply it by 3. Take note of what I'm saying. You now multiply the minimum wage by 3, and you pay in the same industry that other people are earning 5 million, for God's sake. That is absolute slavery. We should be able to, we should look at, while I really commend Dangote. Dangote should come up. He said the other day, he is 71. He will soon be going. He doesn't really need too much money. Okay? So what is he fighting for? Let it allow the workers to breathe by paying them. The bottom line of this thing is that he does not want them to know what he's doing inside.
Are you not sure that the style of management is actually keeping her afloat up to this time in business?
That's why the carpet industries are also flourishing in India. Yeah, if you want to go to that, that's why the carpet industries are flourishing in India. Slavery.
You call it slavery. He doesn't call it slavery.
He doesn't. The people that are manufacturing carpet do not call it slavery. No. Please, gentlemen and ladies, let us face facts. Let us support Dangote, but Dangote must run according to the industry standards in terms of remuneration, in terms of transparency. You can go into Shell and know what they're doing.
Well,
that should be it.
a lot of leaders in the country, including the Vice President Chetima, waded into this particular issue.
Do you know the interest they have? I mean, let's be blunt. Do you know the interest they have in Dangote?
They said Dangote should be protected. That is,
Who are we protecting? Is it
national
only
pride.
Dangote we are protecting? Or the leaders that have shares in Dangote? You see, listen. Dangote is fantastic. I repeat, I don't care who has shares in it, but let things be done properly. Let the right remuneration, even if it's a little bit below, okay? Let it not be so. Why are they not wanting people to associate? Why?
All right.
Can you tell us why he doesn't want? If the other companies were owned by government, okay, I would listen. But so long as the other companies are also private and they are allowed to associate, why would you not allow them?
Let's look at the effects of these industrial actions on the nation's, energy security.
Yes. The effect of it is bad. But sometimes things need to be bad to get good. That's true. You know, I just read, I think this morning or yesterday on social media, somebody was mentioning different countries that the people have revolted and the government is like changing. And somebody said, it's because the Nigerians has conscience. You know, he put the conscience in inverted commas. Okay. Look at the country. Look at the youths. There are certain things, I know because people like television say I don't want to say so that they don't ban you tomorrow. What is the other body that
NBC.
That is fond of looking for what to ban in televisions? But let me tell you something. You have a people that the siblings or the kids of the president are running things in the country. Have you ever seen it anywhere? You have youths that should have stood up, but because they've been compromised, you have student unions that cannot. I remember in our days, okay, where do you think we are heading for? If we go on like this, where do you think we are heading for? That nobody can stand up to say a thing. I said something, I said it shortly. I said things might have to go bad before it gets
good.
Now, if you look at some of these countries, people have lost their lives, okay, and there is no way things actually turn very, very well and things change that blood is not shed. But Nigerians are not ready for that yet. So what I would try to say
must blood be shed before things can get well?
Can you tell me how did you deliver South Africa? You, when I mean Nigeria. Did we lose soldiers in South Africa? Did we lose soldiers in Liberia? We did. What I'm trying to say is that let the leaders, only the leaders can avert this thing. Why am I saying so? The leaders can avert by changing the pattern with which things are done.
Well, Pastor, let me get your parting shot on this. What long-term policy could make both sides accountable? Because, there have been insinuations that both sides actually have ulterior motives. They have their selfish interests individually. So do you think that there's a modality that can be put in place towards ensuring that both sides are accountable when events of this nature arise to forestall the industrial action?
Let me start from here. What would you say the same Pangasa that is allowing Shell to run, that is allowing Mobil or Seplat to run, that is allowing Ajib to run, that is allowing all these bodies to run, and we're not hearing of, from time to time we hear small squabbles and they are settled. Why would it be of their interest to cripple them? That's the question you must answer. That's the question that people that are talking like this must give us a solution. Why would anybody, in spite of the fact that I'm talking like this, I'm saying this, that I would like to see Dangote run well. I would like to see it flourish. I'd like to see it stand well. Okay? But, so, the long-term policy the issue is that things should be done properly. The government should not just come out and say, Pengasa. When I saw it on the paper that NNPCL is saying that it was because of Pengasa. No.
That it's having shortages in production.
No. If Dangote had not done what he did, okay, ask me, I'm a Nigerian. Anywhere I go, anywhere across the world I go, in spite of the trouble, I hold my passport and I let people know that I'm a Nigerian. I don't care. We passed through certain things. One time we flew into I think Chicago airport, and they kept me and my wife for like 4 or 5 hours. They didn't tell us till today. They've not told us why they did. It was humiliating. In fact, it wasn't. They didn't keep. They just took my wife into one room, and they were searching phones. The woman is a consultant, the pediatrician, she's a professor. She's not doing anything. So why were they doing that? So for me, listen, I would rather stay here than go live My father is buried in the US. My kids are Americans. Are you following me? But listen to me. I love living here. My brother asked me whether my head is correct. My head is very correct by living here. I love Nigeria. But like I said, sir, let the government also talk to their Dangote. Let Dangote, with all what it has brought,
Okay.
let it also allow things to be done the way it's done in other.
Clients.
Don't forget, it's not isolated. It's not an isolation issue that, oh, they just pick up Dangote. No. So let Dangote, he's a fine man, he's a handsome young man. Let that handsome man enter also the way he is handling his stuff. I think this will help. There will always be clashes every time, but something, it does not need to get to this.
Yes.
Usually, it does not need to get to this.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Samuel Okpokowuruk, oil and gas experts, for speaking to us and bringing some light into this issue.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right, we'll take a breather, and when we return, Niger Delta Today continues.